Hari Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivadagacharya Ashtottar Sadasri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanar Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Prem se kaho, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Prabhupada Anuga ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 6. Canto 8, Chapter 5, Text 6. Tasyanubhavaha katito gunascha pramodayaha Bhauman renun swavirname vimame yo vishnur varnayet gunan. Please repeat. Tasyanubhavaha katito Bhauman renun svimame yo vishnur varnayet gunan. Tasyanubhavaha katito Gunascha paramodayaha Bhauman renun savimame Yo Vishnur varnayet gunan. Tasyanubhavaha katito Gunascha paramodayaha Bhauman renun savimame Yo Vishnur varnayet gunan. Tasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing as Vaikuntha, Anubhavaha, great activities, Khatitaha, were explained, Gunaha, transcendental qualities, Cha, also, Paramaudayaha, greatly glorious, Bhauman, earthly, Renun, particles, Saha, someone, Vimame, can count, Yah, such a person, Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, Varnayet, can count, Gunan, the transcendental qualities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: although the great activities and transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's various incarnations are wonderfully described, sometimes we are unable to understand them. Yet everything is possible for Lord Vishnu. If one could count the atoms of the universe, then he could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But no one can count the atoms of the universe, nor can anyone count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Purport: the Lord's glorious activities referred to in this connection took place after his personal bodyguards, Jaya and Vijaya, became Daityas, having been cursed by the great sages Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, and Sanandana. Jaya as Hiranyaksha had to fight with Varahadeva, and that same Varahadeva is mentioned in regard to the Raivata millennium. The fighting, however, took place during the reign of the first Manu, Swayambhuva. Therefore, according to some authorities, there are two Varahas. According to others, however, Varaha appeared during the regime of Swayambhuva Manu and stayed in the water until that of Raivata Manu. Some may doubt that this could be possible, but the answer is that everything is possible. If one could count the atoms within the universe, one could count the qualities of Lord Vishnu. The atoms of the universe are impossible for anyone to count, and similarly, no one can count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Various incarnations are wonderfully described. Sometimes we are unable to understand them, yet everything is possible for Lord Vishnu. If one can count the atoms of the universe, then you could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is possible and what is not possible is something within the material realm. Some things are possible, some things are not possible. Within our experience, it is not possible. So we say it is not possible. Within our capacity, it's not possible. So we say it's not possible. But we should also know that the impossible for us is possible for the Lord. What is impossible for us is possible for the Lord. And if the Lord empowered somebody, it is possible for him also. It's not possible to count the atoms in the universe. Yes, it's impossible to count. So that comparison is given. Similarly, don't try to understand the qualities of the Lord with your puny brain. Not possible. So, not possible things versus possible things. But it's mentioned here for Vishnu, everything is possible. He does wonderful activities, wonderful pastimes, which you may not even think of. You can't think of lifting a mountain on the left pinky finger of yours. So nobody even will think that you will think of doing such a thing. Nor will you think of a pig coming out of the nose of Brahma, becoming so huge, and then lifting the earth from the Karana ocean, putting it back into. It's all amazing imagination you have to have. Somebody's imagination. It cannot be true. It cannot be true. According to our experience, our education, our learning, and the people who surround us, these things are impossible to happen. Right? Is Varahadev possible? Monkey? I'm sorry, a pig. The Lord assuming the form of a pig, a wild boar, and then lifting the earth planet from the Karana ocean. This is why people don't believe in God. In other words, I want to believe in a God who has possibilities. The God whom you believe in should be possible. If you talk of something impossible, how can I believe? But at the same time, there are others who will say that what is the use of having somebody possible? Something impossible you can do, then I will worship you. You should become worshipable when you do something impossible. Then only you become worshipable. In one sense, it is right that something impossible can be achieved, then he is worshipable. The material world also, it's like that, the logic. He is wonderful, amazing. They make him a god. They'll make him a god very soon because he's doing something which normal human beings cannot do. He becomes worshipable. Of course, there are other dangers in that. You see, there was a question once posed by rationalists. Can God make something that he cannot lift? In terms of Varaha, I'm telling. Can God make something that he cannot lift? This question, we ask, either way you answer, you are finished. Can God make something that he cannot lift? What do you say? Can God make something that he cannot lift? If you say, no, he cannot make something that he cannot lift, then how can he be God? If you say that he can lift whatever he has made, then you are in another type of a question. So, this is the answer here, it's mentioned. Anything is possible. If he wants to make something which he cannot lift, he'll do that. He'll do that. If he wants to make something which he cannot lift, that is his desire. So he will make something that he cannot lift. But what is important thing is here, it is he who is creating it like that, according to his desire. That's what is important. Right? So, yes, God can do impossible things. The answer. That is why it's called Achintya. Impossible for us to think about. Achintya Rupam, Aditya Varanam Tamasap Parastat. In Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned. You can't understand, you cannot think, because you should not think you are very great. You are very small. So constantly glorification of the Lord is made to show that he is very great, to show that he is absolute, to show that he is above and beyond a different category than you. That is what is fully being described. God is of a different category. He is worshipable. He is great. He's got all his energies in place. You are but in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the living beings are described as energy. The energetics, energy are the living entities. That's the way it is. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, that is described. What is it? Apareya mitastuvanyam prakritim vidhime param jivabhutam mahabaho yayedham dhayate jagat. Krishna is describing Bhumirapo Analo Vayu Kammano Buddhirevacha in the 7th chapter. He's speaking about a category called matter. Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadar. Then he goes to say, this is Prakriti. This is another type of Prakriti. Apareya mitastuvanyam prakritim vidhime param. That is a para Prakriti which consists of Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho Yayedam Dharyate Jagat. They are sustaining this whole creation. That is another type of Prakriti, but it is superior Prakriti. Both these are my energies. Both these are my energies. That is the category. Jada, this is also one type of energy. You as Atma, another type of energy of the Lord. So you're of a different category. Energetic, possessing the energy, his energy, you belong to that. So the categorization is very clean. God is of a completely different category. Absolute truth, the energetic, the possessor of all energies. Parashaya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shuyate. Very clearly defined. You must understand. Have you ever understood yourself as energy? I am spirit soul. I am this and all that you think. No, fine, your spirit soul. But your energy. Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho Yayedham Dharyate Jagat. So, categorization. Then you know who you are. Then you know God is not of the same category like you at all. He can do things which you cannot do. Definitely you cannot do. Energy has to function according to what the energetic tells you to do. Energy is not independent of the energetic. You are a dependent energy of the Lord. So therefore, when you hear about the Lord doing wonderful things, you should not think I also can do. Only if you're a madman, you will think like that. Rather, you should think that he can do wonderful things. Because he is God. Because he possesses all energies. Because he is great. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad urjitame baba tat tat eva vagachatvam mamatejo amsha sambhavam. That understanding of knowledge, then concluding that therefore the Lord is great, he can do anything, and I am not of that category, that is called knowledge. That is called knowledge. That's what is described. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yattat jnanam matam mama. This is what Krishna is telling is knowledge. This differentiation you must understand. Evam jnatva na punarmoham yasisi pandava. Yena bhutani asheshani drakshasya atmanyato mayi. After telling tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya in 7th chapter, he is telling, the next shloka says, if you surrender to tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashne seva upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina sattva darshana. You accept a guru, surrender to him, serve him, inquire from him. This is education layout. Acceptance of a teacher, serving him, inquiring from him submissively. These are all qualities of the student. If you do that, evam jnatva na punarmoham. Then again this illusion will not come on you. What is that illusion? Evam yasasi pandava yena bhutani asheshani drakshasya mayi. That God and the living entities are different. They are part and parcel. This difference you must understand. Then you will not get into that moha again. Difference between God and the living entity, difference between God and you, this is what is not understood. People make mistakes very easily. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiki. And people are very interested in talking their own philosophy. Today I was reading Prabhupada's pastime in Bombay. He's going for the Gita Pratishtan. They want to preach Gita all over the world. So many people are getting together. Jamanlal Bajaj Institute, you know that famous. In his house, I think his son, Ramakrishna Bajaj, is inviting Prabhupada and many great Gita people from Chinmaya Mission, from that person, this person, all of them are there. But they want him to come because he has preached Gita all over the world, Prabhupada. So they want him to come. And he gets the maximum time, he speaks. And he is prepared. Prabhupada prepares for one day what I will speak in this. He writes notes before going with his secretary. I was so amazed. And these notes are all published. What I will say to these people who think they know the Gita. Right? And they're calling me because I have preached Gita all over the world. Very interesting that Prabhupada prepared solutions to world's problems. What the Gita is, how it should be accepted. Brilliant. He analyzes it and then he presents it there. He spoke only for half an hour. And then they ask in the evening that you should come for another program because we are discussing how to spread Gita. He said, I am not required, you people speak. He's coolly telling, I am not required, you go and speak. No, Swamiji, without you, it will not go on. You have spread Bhagavad Gita all over the world and all that. First of all, you must be willing to follow the parampara. He says, completely different. First of all, you must be willing to follow parampara. He goes there because they force him. When they discuss, and they don't ask him anything, he simply keep quiet. And when they ask him, he said, first of all, are you willing to take the Bhagavad Gita as it is, as per the parampara? Otherwise, no use of discussing how to spread it. What is it that you have that you want to spread? That make it sure, make it correct. Are you willing to listen to the parampara? And they say, no, that is okay. Different viewpoints we can have. No, there is only one viewpoint. What Arjuna understood is the viewpoint of Bhagavad Gita. You cannot change it. No, interpretations can be, each one understands it. No. There is only one understanding. Prabhupada repeatedly keeps saying that. Okay, we shall accept that. Next first you should accept that as it is, then you must read what it is and understand it, if you accept it. Prabhupada just didn't leave. Why did you call me? I told I will not come. That was the mood. Yeah. He made them accept it. I'll not speak. You guys are all mess. In one sense, I could make out from the way he was talking, you don't understand. And you want to talk about the Gita without understanding it. Because all of the people in India, Hindus, they speak Mayavad philosophy. 98%. They will all say, you can become God. You will become God. It's never mentioned anywhere in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad. Nowhere it is mentioned. Nowhere it is mentioned. That is why this is very important. We know very clearly we can never be God. And I don't want to be. Because all the fun is lost if I become God. All the fun is lost. The real enjoyment is when there is God and me and I can enjoy by serving. It's big science. What do you think the gopis are enjoying? Gopis are enjoying so much that Krishna is saying, I want to enjoy like that. And he's taking the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's enjoying in his mood as Radharani. Why? You're enjoying more than me. So that position of being a servant is so wonderful that it attracts even Krishna to be like that and enjoy it. The reciprocation you will get and the feeling that he sees gopis enjoy, he sees Radharani enjoying and says, what is she enjoying so much that I am not able to? I want to taste. And then he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then he is completely lost in that enjoyment. And then he feels that everybody should get it. And in that mood of enjoying that seva, he is giving it out to everybody. Mahabhadanyaya avatar. Krishna prema pradayate. Krishnaya, Krishna Chaitanya namane gauritushe nama. You must understand this feeling of God. Never mind, let everybody have it. It is never being given like that. Anarpita charin chirat. Karunaya avatirna kalau. Samarpayutam ujjatam. Unnata ujjvala rasa. Topmost, unnata ujjvala rasa. Shobhakti shriyam. He is giving out what he is enjoying to be the topmost. He is giving to everybody. So this understanding of servant and God, servitor and God, it's a big enjoyment. Not an ordinary thing that's being proposed. I don't want to be servant, I want to be God. It is actually foolishness. Intelligent, smart people will remain subordinate to God and get a much more comfortable life. Even in material life, those people who are subordinates have less anxiety. It's the authority who takes more anxiety. And everybody wants to climb into the, subordinate position. Especially inside ISKCON. Prabhu, you tell me, whatever you tell me. This is a very good position. No responsibility. No, you tell me, I will do. Of course, I carry it to too much of a distance. You tell me, I will do. That's a very nice position, very interesting position to be subordinate. But subordinate does not mean you hide. Subordinate actually has got a bigger meaning. This is what Prabhupada has shown in his life. He remained subordinate to Bhaktisiddhanta Sai Thakur's instruction, but did an amazing amount of things, full of responsibility. That is pleasing to Guru. Subordinate does not mean you become a dumb idiot under me, completely dependent on me, and I enjoy ordering you. Both of them are wrong. The authority is wrong and the subordinate is wrong. Subordinate means that I use my free will, I use my senses, I use my material situation and serve to the full extent, boldly, fully, within the boundaries of the instruction. Subordinate does not mean artificially being, servile. All these are wrong attitudes. Same way, Mayavad attitude, completely wrong. Today, many leading thinkers and political people and all that, authors and everybody, they're all bubbling with enthusiasm about India and the tradition and the history and Hinduism coming to the fore. But unfortunately, we don't know what it is. He's speaking all wrong things. So boof coming up and speaking so many things that you're very sincere, you work very hard, and you're true. It's a great tradition and everything. But please sit down and understand what it is first before you go into that frenzy of our religion is great. Please sit and understand what it is. That's why you must understand first who is God. That you will do best when you understand who are you. Both of this are concomitantly understood together. That's why it's mentioned here. Impossible things can be done by God, which you can never do. But if you are empowered by the Lord, you can also do impossible things. You can do impossible things. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's life history is an impossible life. It is definitely empowered by Krishna. Normal people don't do these things. You can see very clearly. And he keeps going on like an ordinary person, but he's doing extraordinary things. He's not telling I am extraordinary. He's keeping on doing extraordinary things and being very humbly oriented and being an ordinary person. He's a very clean instrument. Very clean instrument. Remaining always humble. These are all the great qualities we should understand in leadership. Leadership quality, how to actually sincerely achieve something for Krishna through the instructions of a pure devotee. These are very important to know. These are very deep, important lessons for us to learn. I don't know, because I'm given this particular shloka today, I'm sticking to speaking on the shloka. Wonderful means pastimes of the Lord. And wonderful means also that normally human beings don't do that. That's why it's wonder. How is it that you're able to do? Right? So pastimes of the Lord are like that. Pastimes of the Lord are like that. Every one of the pastimes are wonderful. Even if Krishna takes the cows to the forest, an ordinary activity is very wonderful. You have to watch carefully what is written there. You'll see it is different from the normal activity. It sounds very simple. He took the cows to the forest. Hare, he's taking so many cows. There are so many gopas. It's not ordinary. There's 9 lakh cows of Nanda Maharaj. And there are so many hundreds and thousands of gopas. It's not like what you saw in the screen in Little Krishna. Just some 10, 15 gopas going. Hare, look at the dance he danced with the gopis. It's mentioned there were millions of gopis. And he went and dancing for one night of Brahma. One kalpa he danced. Isn't that wonderful? Of course it's wonderful. Of course, but you never understand it. You don't understand these numbers. These numbers are so big that you just know it is not imagination. I will just take this little bit, put 10 gopas and a few cows and go to the forest. This is your imagination. It is wonderful. Even the ordinary things he does, simplest of things he does is very wonderful. Because it is impossible to do. Everything that Krishna does is wonderful. Everything. And they all know that in Vrindavan. It's wonderful. And they're taking part in it. Right? So don't think that only some things are wonderful of Krishna. If you think he lifted Govardhana hill, it's wonderful. The rest of the things are ordinary things even I can do. No, everything is wonderful. You cannot do any of those things. You cannot do any of those things. This understanding this difference, not only because of the fact that he, in material estimation, did something different and wonderful, because it is Krishna, absolute truth. All his activities are transcendental. Mentioned, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatvatah. This is the meaning of it. That is why we worship. Because the tendency to want to become God and be equated with Him is so deep in the conditioned soul. That's why we are here. That's why we are in the material world. So the cure for that is to make this separate and glorify the Lord separately and tell Him you are very great. That is the meaning of Kirtan, glorifying the Lord. And we all join together and glorify the Lord. It's more effective, very powerful. And in this way you get purified. And slowly you can understand myself to be a part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivam sa jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. This is the process. This is why we are chanting Hare Krishna. This is why we are glorifying Krishna. This is why we are learning and reading together the Bhagavatam, discussing Krishna. Why we are doing, what we should get out of it. If you are not clear in your head, you will not be able to get it so easily. You should not simply endeavor and do it mechanically because somebody said it is good. I don't know the details, but they are telling it's good, so I'm doing. Why not you know the details? Why don't you read? Why don't you ask questions? Then you will be very meaningfully doing what you're doing, purposefully doing what you're doing. That's important. And then you will become very dedicated and you will become deep and your realizations also will come out of it. So that is why we read, we go deeply and understand what is mentioned here, why it is mentioned. These are not ordinary people talking. This is Shukadeva Goswami talking. These are all very, very deep personalities. When they say something, it means. We will understand it very superficially. That's why you will see in the pastimes of the Lord, when Brahma, Krishna shows his greatness also in amazing ways. In amazing ways. The Brahma Vimohana Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes it very nicely. Brahma Vimohana Leela, Brahma will come afterwards and he'll come and fall down and pray. That time he'll address Krishna standing there under the tree like that. He'll address him as Adi Narayana. And the small Krishna will ask, Brahma, did you call me Narayana? I am not Narayana. I'm just a cowherd boy. He told us. I am just a cowherd boy rearing cows in the forest. And he was smiling. And he was also very innocently telling. And Brahma is crying, no, you are the original Narayana. I will tell you how. And he explains detail. Are you not that same person lying in the ocean? Lying in the ocean means Nara Ayana, explains through Paka Sanskrit. Ayana. Also you are the origin of the Vishnus. Also you are the origin of this whole world. And Krishna quietly hear it. He's quietly hearing it. He tells him this. How can I be Narayana? I am just an ordinary cowherd boy. Speaking sarcastically to Brahma. And Brahma said, Ayyo, I don't want to make that mistake again. I just made that mistake. What he thought was a small cowherd boy. Take his cowherd people, hide them. Take all his calves, hide them. He thought like that, no? Just a cowherd boy. So that same thing is replying. I am just an ordinary cowherd boy. Very funny, highly sarcastic. That's what you thought, no? And as soon as he thought that, he went to hid, and then he came and saw, my gosh, all the cowherd boys are here only. Not only that, when he kept looking, Krishna did one more thing. Each one of these cowherd boys got 4 hands and became Narayana. Each one of them. You imagine the scary feeling he had. So many of them as 4-handed. It's just bewildering Brahma from here. Ordinary cowherd boy sitting with Tair Sadham in his hands. Actually, he was having yogurt rice. Pickles were coming out of the fingertip. Yashoda had packed, all that were coming out here. It was pouring down. The curd was pouring down on this. Exactly like that, he remained for 1 year. It is even more bewildering. This is not wonderful. And then the same scene assumed again. He came back and the cows came back and they all went. They don't know what happened for 1 year. He did this in front of everybody. Only Balaram knew. And he said, you've done this. He said, yeah. For 1 year after killing Agasura, nobody knew. Nobody knew. Only Krishna knew and Balaram found out. This is not wonderful? Of course. Of course. It's wonderful. Quietly he is doing it. And then Brahma has learnt a lesson. He is not telling him all the details. Brahma has learnt, I learnt a lesson. My gosh. He said, no, I am only a cowherd boy. He told him that. It's very nice. That in Bengali it's mentioned that how am I? Narayana. Narayana is somebody else. So don't think the ordinary things that Krishna does is not wonderful. Everything he does is wonderful. A pure devotee can see everything is wonderful. Everything is impossible for any of us to do. That is when you're yajnatma na punarmoham. That you don't have the illusion anymore. You're able to see it correctly. Till then, we always want to be authority. We either don't want any authority above us, or we want to be authority, or we want to wipe out all the authority. These three things happen in the world. It's all against authority. I want to be the authority, right? Or I will not obey the authority. 3, there is nothing called authority. Everything is one. Equality. These 3 things are the reason. And each one of them has got one philosophy. And it's very attractive to the conditioned soul to hear this philosophy. Because I like that philosophy because it rationalizes my desire. It rationalizes my desire to be equal with God. This is why it is very dangerous. It is necessary to understand and preserve the understanding. I am a servant of God. Jivera Swarupa Hoi Krishnera Nityadas. God is wonderful. Look at his activities. And the more you read, the more you indulge in this pastime, the more it will be clear that you are nobody. You are a nobody. That is why we must Katayantas chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. We must regularly read and must regularly discuss and meditate on this understanding. We should not take it lightly. Should not do just one reading like you do for school textbooks. I finished my homework. Now can I go and play? Because you're not really interested in your homework. You're not really interested in the study. Don't read Bhagavatham like doing your homework. You thought keep it for submitting something. You don't read like that. Initially, you may read like that for some time. But you should develop a taste for it, for hearing about Krishna. If you have developed a taste, you are secure. The Bhagavatam mentions the one who has developed a taste is secured. He is secured. So we should nicely understand. These are very important, valuable statements made here. That Vishnu is wonderful. He can do anything wonderful. You know that story, famous when I came to ISKCON, that story of that cobbler and that Brahmana. Narada Muni is telling that What is God doing? He is very busy threading an elephant through the eye of the needle. And the Brahmana said, what? Is not anything better to do? That is, but the cobbler said, of course, wonderful, he can do. If he can put this old banyan tree under the small seed, why can't he do that? He had a pakka understanding. He had a very pakka understanding, full of faith. He can do anything impossible. Instantly he said it. But the Brahmana said, not possible. And therein lies the difference. Very educated people, materially highly educated, difficult for them to believe. But one, not that he is not educated, one who is traditionally educated, who has got faith, who is brought up properly in a God-conscious atmosphere, his faith is not having too much of work to do. Easily he can have faith. That is his fortune. He's a bhagyashali. That easily he can believe in God. That's because of sukriti done for so long. It's not easy to develop faith in God if you don't have sukriti, if you have not done devotional service. It's not that everybody who has faith is some foolishly believing. There's a huge amount of thing behind faith. Kritapunya punja is mentioned about the Gopa's faith and about their understanding of Krishna. How many janmas they have done amazing activities as service to the Lord to come to this point of having this service like this. So to come to the point of having faith in Krishna, you need the blessings of a pure devotee, or you should have done that amount of service to qualify for that. Faith is built gradually. It is not something that you just get like that, just by knowledge. Knowledge will help you to render service, and service will help you to purify yourself. Purification of self and association will develop faith. It's a process. That's why Prabhupada said, Bharata Bhumite Hoila Manusha Janmajar. If you're born in India, you are great because you have already done these things. You have already developed faith. Now don't speak Mayavad. Now don't, adopt some Western ideology. Now don't do all wrong things because so many janmas you have done wonderful things to be born in India. Bharata Bhumite Hoila Manusha Janmachar. Why you waste all that? Take up Krishna consciousness and Paropakar. Not only should you take it up, you should also give it to others. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any question or comment? We don't say these two things separately. You are independent, you are dependent also. Both occur simultaneously. It's not black and white. That is Dvandva Moha, binary. The conditioned soul always is subjected to the binary. So you tend to think, for a devotee, he knows anything is possible. It's not black or white. It could be gray, black, white, super, everything can be. He knows that. That is the approach. So you can be independent, which you should be because you're a spirit soul, you're an individual. Individuality is different from independence. Exercising your individuality does not mean you're exercising your independence. It's a very subtle thing. People confuse it. So people who are mature and experienced in life will give their subordinates independence, space, plus they'll exert their authority. They'll do all these things together. You'll see that many parents I know will give a good space to their kids, but where necessary, they'll draw a line. No. He knows where to do it, and the subordinate child also knows this thing my father will never compromise. He knows where, but otherwise he's like this, like this. So they like it because where necessary, because other side is open to me, learning this, that, everything. So both are there. You cannot, from the side of the authority, you should be able to exercise your authority for the welfare of your subordinate, not for enjoying your rasa of control. That's where the problem is. When you have a materialistic mind and there is no relationship with your subordinate, then you will see it is very different. Why it is different in a family? Because I have a relationship of love with my child, and that child also has a relationship of love with me. So it's possible to exercise authority and give independence. Because why? There is love, there is relationship. But the same thing, if you do it in any other plane, very difficult to exercise authority and this thing. This thing takes a long time to develop a relationship. Here the relationship is already there. So sometimes people don't take advantage of this relationship, they mess it up on small grounds. On this side, they take a long time to develop a relationship, so they're not able to exercise certain things very easily. Or they try to buy it off with money, with position, with this, that, and everything. And so it's not genuine. It's not genuine. But Krishna is telling, my relationship with you is the most genuine because it's eternal, right? And I definitely have authority over you. How much ever you try to wriggle out, I've outsourced it to Maya to do the needful to you. Unless you develop my love for me, I'll bring you back again under me directly. Right? So independence is recognized even by Krishna. He is giving that independence. Otherwise, how is it that you are doing what you want to do here? He's allowing you to do that. He's allowing you to be small God also. It's okay, try it out and see how it is. Just try it out and see how it is, because it's not possible. It's not the reality. Still, he's giving it to you. The whole world is an illusion based on the idea that you should be God. That's what the whole world is about. But he's allowing it so that you will learn. In that he's sitting there and as Paramatma and everything and keeping on instructing you. It is just that you're so insensitive to those instructions. So Krishna is giving you a lot of independence. But at the same time, he'll exercise his authority also. Because he loves you. He has a relationship with you. So in that model, you will see both will prevail. Where there is genuine relationship, both subordination and independence go hand in hand. And there is happiness in that. I don't mind subordinating myself to somebody whom I love, who is above me, and who thinks about me and does things for my welfare. Why not? It's very cozy, it's very nice, it's comfortable to be under. Why I will not? At the same time, the authority is also thinking out of love that you must grow. You must learn to do this independently. You must not lean on me too much. Weaning you away from depend. That also the authority will do if he's a responsible person. He won't make you a person, enjoy your dependence on me. I enjoy it. If you come and say, Amma, I don't know how to do this, I will do it for you. See, now you're depending on me. Keep depending on me, okay? That gives me rasa. It gives me a material enjoyment. All sorts of funny things go on in human society. And then they say, come and complain. He's not listening to me. No, I can understand that. It's not a question of not listening. You possess him so much. And you're telling, he's not giving me that enjoyment. That's what is happening. So when material life comes in all these things, and you start thinking in terms of your enjoyment, then a different picture comes in. There's no really independence. There is no real subordination. People act subordinate, people act independent, as though they're giving you independence, but it's not happening like that because there's no genuine relationship. I hope that is clear. Yeah. Any other question? Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. Go ahead, be independent. Try it.